Okay, we're going to do a video here on the Acoustic Research M2. It'll be mic 2 phonetically. That's the M2 music player, which is capable of a lot more than just playing the built-in music. It's capable of doing streaming and other things, and I'm not going to cover that, but somebody else will. I want to cover just the music player part of it. I got this pretty amazing looking box here. These things are just amazing. They're probably some high-tech plastic, ABS or whatever, but they're made to be waterproof and so on. And just incredible boxes. That's what they pack this thing in. This is the AR-M2 Acoustic Research. Let's get the charger. The only thing they give you here for a charger is it plugs into the wall, and it has a USB port on it. So you get USB power that way, or you can plug it into a computer or any place else that's conventional USB output. You should be able to charge it up. USB cable right here. And a quick instruction book inside here, which is not so much a book. See if we can see this here. Yeah, there we go, quick start guide. Well, the quick start guide gives a pretty good heads up on how to do this. Wouldn't give you a lot of information on the cards, but I'll tell you about that. Now, the thing I'm going to cover is just the physicals and the sound. And here we have this player. This is the AR-M2. Here's the bottom of this, if I can get this focused. That in the center would be the micro USB port for charging. Over to the right we have the headphone jack there, standard 3.5mm headphone jack. Then we have a line out. I'm not sure what all the capabilities of line out are, but obviously if you're going to connect it to some big music system, then it's going to be a standard line out, whatever high impedance, that sort of thing that line outs are supposed to be, bypass your volume controls and all that other kind of stuff. So you'd be getting the DAC output of this player. And there's the volume control on top. Nice, knobby volume control there. And then on the side here, better open it up this way, we have, if we can see all that, we have next, previous buttons. I'm trying to get focused. And then I'll just have to say what these are here. Down here at the bottom, we have a micro SD port. So right now I have, I forget, either a 32 or a 64 in there. I think this will take up to whatever the limits of. I'm not sure which format they prefer. I put in a format that's exFAT, and that worked okay. But you can use internal memory, or you can, copying the stuff in from the computer, or you can use a plug-in card. I did have a 200 gigabyte card in there. It did work. I'm not sure if this player can access the full capacity of that. I think it probably can. And they have firmware updates coming that will take care of that kind of stuff. Now, whatever this looks like, the screen, I'm going to turn this on, and hopefully we can see some of this here. I tried this earlier and couldn't see anything. We dragged that thing up there, and that looks a lot better. So we have a settings screen here with settings, and then let's see if I can skip back here. And you can see some of the music tracks that I have in here. And this button over here can do either settings or sound effects. If we push the sound effects button, then we have our equalizer plus bass boost 3D effect. All that stuff works. Can't say much else about it. And over here on the music button, I guess we can go to different things here, all albums, artists, so on and so forth. But anyway, the one thing I like here is if you get 1,000 or so music tracks in here, there's an A to Z list will pop up, and you can actually select through thousands of tracks that way, and just by A, B, C, D, E, and zero in on what you want pretty quickly, just like a iPhone can do. iPhone, iPod, that sort of thing. And so there's the physical part of it as far as looking at the box. Has a nice leatherette cover here. It might be real leather. Now, the physicals here, besides what I've already showed you, is that, let me give you just an example here. That's a $12,000 watch on my wrist there. That's a, an Omega gray side of the moon. This is like that. This M2 player is something that when you put it in your hand and you feel it and look at it, it feels like something that's very expensive. It feels like a very high quality item. So this is not going to disappoint you in terms of its physical quality. I think it's about $1,200, which when I tell you about the sound, it might actually sound like a bargain. So let's describe the sound and see if I can just prop this little guy up here for a minute. And is it going to sit? Probably not. Yeah, let's put the box behind it. There we go. So anyway, the sound is, I have to do that by comparison. I've got different small DACs, like the Audio Engine, and they've got the various Dragonflies, version 1.2, the Dragonfly Black, and so on. So those are pretty good DACs. And I've used the amps in them, which are pretty good. But then when you add a headphone amp to that, as an, through the line out of the DAC, then theoretically you can get better sound. I would say that this player right here has a better, smoother, yet more detailed upper end sound than anything I have in the house. So every time I put a DAC on, every time I put an amp onto one of my DACs, I get more detail, and I should sync this setup. But anyway, I get more detail, but I don't really get a smoother sound. I seem to get more, I don't know, more detail of the sibilance and the noise and the other stuff that's in the background. And playing the same tracks on here, they sound smoother, more extended, detailed, like a really top quality tube amp. So I can't say any more about that. That's the way it sounds. It has an incredible sound stage, very smooth yet detailed upper end. Mid-range is, whatever, perfect. And the bass varies according to the track, and I would say the bass is never bad. It's good enough. In fact, with different headphones, it can vary. Sound anywhere from really detailed to a little bit loose, depending on the headphone that you're driving. But of course, there are some amps to drive some of the real problem headphones, like the Planars and so on, that might do better with that type of headphone. But generally speaking, the sound is very good top to bottom, but especially at the top where all the details and upper harmonics are. It's just absolutely amazing. Very smooth and very detailed, and you just won't believe. You almost need to take one of these things home. Listening to it in a store, listening to it at one of those meets. I don't know if you can get into a quiet enough place where you can really appreciate that or not, but it is amazing, and it really does sound that good. So, it isn't just the DAC, the amp, this or that. It's the synergy of whatever they put together to build this thing, and they really did it right. It sounds amazing. So if you got a really top quality headphone, something that costs a lot of money, or something that's just really, really, really good, this is the way to go. And but it's a DAP, digital audio player. And then somebody else is going to talk about all the different extensions on it, like the streaming capability and all that sort of thing. But anyway, that's my look at the AR M2, Acoustic Research M2. Highly, highly recommended. Well worth money, I think. Thank you very much.